Hello everybody, I'm Krasi and this is my week for the 12 Ascendants, where I will be talking about each of the 12 Ascendants or moon signs. It is also applicable, and we will see the most important celestial events and how they will influence each of the 12 Ascendants. I'm using Sidereal Zodiac, but I'll also give you the tropical signs in case that you're using the tropical zodiac of the modern Western astrology. I will make a brief overview, and also under this video you will be able to find the timestamps for each of the 12 ascendants. Now, what is interesting this week is that the week from the 20th to 27th of January, that for some parts of the world, Jupiter is becoming visible. For America, for India, I think most parts of North America, Jupiter is already visible. For some parts of Europe, he will become visible end of the month, January. This is true blessing because Jupiter is in his own sign of Sagittarius, and when he becomes visible, even more will experience his blessing. Also this week, of course, we're still under the influence of the conjunction of Pluto and Saturn, but here is again the place to remind you that this conjunction was a fact already for quite some time. According to the ancient astrology, the approach towards aspect is different, and at the moment when two planets are in the same sign, and especially if we're using the hermetic signs, which are equal 30 degrees each, and at the moment when a planet is entering certain sign, which was the case with Saturn and Pluto, and Saturn entered Sagittarius already end of 2017, so the fact this conjunction is already fact. So to be scared now, or to have to try to impose additional tension in relation to this conjunction makes no sense, because it is a fact, and most probably you're experiencing these energies for quite some time, maybe more now indeed. How is this energy manifesting? You can see my video on the main events of 2020 when I'm giving special attention to this, but I would tell you that of course it is not auspicious, not beneficial conjunction. Of course, it is about power, it is about secrets, it is about secret services, it is about imposing power on people. It could be about devastating events of the nature. It can be about death, change of politicians, change political parties, change of the regimes. But this is happening also because of the fact that Saturn on 31st of January next week will enter his own sign of Capricorn. So basically this is to make a long story short, nothing to fear about from this conjunction. Yes, of course, be a bit careful, don't run into risky situations, but Saturn-Pluto conjunction is something that we already know, that we're experiencing already since November 2017, at the moment when Saturn entered Sagittarius, where Pluto was already. So at the moment when they are entering Sagittarius, these two planets are exchanging energies. The helping factor into this is that Jupiter is becoming visible, so, and there in his own sign of Sagittarius. So with this, this is softening, this is helping hand of the universe. However, yeah, it is a fact, and it's a fact for a long time, so no reasons for fears. This is what I tried to tell you. Now, in this week also, we are having the square of Mars and Venus, not a dangerous square, very personal though. We can experience this on a personal level. These are two personal planets. Mars is very powerful in Scorpio. It's about the depth of the emotions. It is about Venus is an evening star, but in the sign of the Aquarius. So certainly it will be about depth of few people's emotions. Now, yes, this is until the 27th, and as I told you already, in some parts of the world we will experience the blessing of Jupiter, who will rise heliacally in his own sign of Sagittarius. And here is also to tell you that for my longitudes, he will become visible on the 27th of January, and I will be making powerful astrological talismans of Jupiter, which are available only once per 12 years, because, of course, he's entering his sign of Sagittarius once per 12 years. So my contacts and the links to my websites are under this video, in case that you like to see details around astromagics and the beauty of the astrological remedies and gems and talismans. Now let's start ascendant per ascendant to see how the week and how the celestial configurations will influence each of the 12 ascendants. Now we're starting with sidereal ascendant or moon sign Aries, or for example, if you're following the modern tropical zodiac, this probably will be Taurus. So ascendant Aries, your ascendant ruler is in sidereal Scorpio, and passing through powerful degrees of the star of a royal star. And the sign of Scorpio, of course, is very secretive. It is about depth. It is about deep emotions. It's about events that go on a very deep level. And when your ascendant ruler is in the 8th house, certainly this can lead you to interest in the occult, also can bring some unexpected finances, for example, through partnerships. And yes, this is powerful placement of ascendant ruler in the 8th in his own sign Scorpio. It can give you knowledge, depth of your research, depth of your studies, and it could be something actually very auspicious. Jupiter on your 9th house for some parts of the world will become visible for you, and with this you can have a blessing in relation to travels, in relation to knowledge, blessing in relation to communication with father or with gurus or with people who you consider your spiritual teachers, for example, or examples. Now Saturn and Pluto, of course, are also on your 9th house. They're in conjunction, and Saturn is still invisible. And this particular conjunction of two planets on your 9th house, planets which are not auspicious, is not a bad placement, because the 9th house is considered good. So in this regard, I see this more as having a spiritual manifestation or desire to study, not very beneficial in relation to negotiations and travel. There you might need to be a bit cautious, even though Jupiter is saving you very, very much. Mercury and the Sun are on your 10th house. Mercury is invisible, but still the Sun on your 10th house in degrees, passing through this week through important degrees related to clairvoyance, intuition. And this is interesting. This can give you ambition, desire to achieve goals, especially related to career, for example. And this is where you might need to be a bit cautious, especially when you will be negotiating. You might need to wait a while and see indeed Saturn to become visible, Saturn to enter his own sign of Capricorn, your 10th house, so that you become so that you reach your goals. In any case, Venus is in a very good position, good for your finances. So the week is very good for you, with some points that you might need to consider, like cautiously negotiate, cautiously plan your trips, cautiously wait for another week until Saturn enters your 10th house, and especially wait until he becomes visible. But financially, the week is okay. You might be a little bit too emotional, but still the week is quite good and can bring you a lot of knowledge and good events. All right, and now let's see ascendant Taurus. Sidereal Taurus, or if you're looking at the modern zodiac, this would be tropical Gemini. So we're looking at ascendant or moon sign Taurus. Your ascendant ruler is on your 10th house, very powerful in degrees in Aquarius, and degrees which are very spiritual, very knowledgeable, and quite beneficial. On the other hand, the Sun is creating harmonious aspect to your ascendant from your 9th house. This is good for knowledge, for completing studies, completing negotiations. On your 7th house, you still have in Mars in his own place. And this can, because he's creating harmonious aspect with Venus, this can be a bit too emotional for your private life, for your negotiations, for your relationship with partners. So have this into your mind, take this into consideration, that you might need to be intuitive and patient, because Mars on your descendant squaring your ascendant ruler, and all this is happening through the house of relationship, is saying that you might need to be patient, loving, intuitive, especially when it comes to romantic partnerships. Financially, the week looks good also, and especially the rise of Jupiter on your 8th house can be very auspicious when it comes to finances of true partnerships, or the finances of your partner. So you have a good week, just be a little bit cautious when traveling, and the week is more for completing important tasks than for launching new beginnings. All right, this was for Taurus. Now we're looking at Sidereal Ascendant Gemini, or if you're following the tropical zodiac, you might have Cancer, tropical modern ascendant. So this is also valid for the moon signs. Now, if you have an ascendant Gemini, your ascendant ruler with the sun is in your 8th house, which can be very esoteric, can make you interested in the occult, on hidden sciences. This can, because also the sun is there, can be quite auspicious for the finances of your partner. Also, Jupiter on your descendant, especially for you, for your longitude, he becomes visible this week for you, can be very good. Jupiter on your 7th house is already very good, and he is very much helpful and giving you helping hand after being so patient with Saturn and Pluto on your descendant. So this is a blessing for your partnership, for your private life, for your romantic life, for partnerships and agreements in general. Can give you new opportunities, finances which could come to the partner as well. On the other hand, Venus is creating harmonious aspect to your ascendant to give you opportunity to fix relationship with father, with gurus, with people who have very important position in relationship to studies, for example, and wisdom in your life. Be a little bit cautious health-wise, be responsible for your health, and try to avoid conflicts with subordinates, like be very, very diplomatic and very intuitive when it comes to people at work. Other than that, especially after Jupiter will rise on your 7th house, become visible, the week will be very good for you, and it so will be almost up until November 2020. Really relief already. And now we're looking at Cancer, Sidereal Ascendant, or this would be tropical Leo, if you're following the modern tropical zodiac. This is also valid for the moon signs. So for you, the Sun and Mercury are on your 7th house. This is, of course, pointing, giving attention towards the 7th house, relationship, agreements, people that you know. So in this case, this is fine. Mercury there can be very helpful, can create opportunity for you to discuss, communicate, fix unsolved issues, matters with people that you love, for example. Mars and Venus are creating a square, and all this is happening through your 5th and 8th houses. And this can be a bit too emotional for your love life, but can also be like a driving force for the finances of your partner. So in this case, this can be additional energies which will be helping for the finances coming through your partner. On the other hand, Jupiter is becoming visible on your 6th house, and he is in the 6th house already, and this is helpful for your health and for relationship with subordinates, and this can help your work, the environment of your routine. Of course, we're not forgetting that Pluto and Saturn are also on your 6th house, so indeed this week be a little bit cautious for your health. And when it comes to communication with subordinates, yes, you're having the helping hand of Jupiter, but still be intuitive and be a bit careful. So the week is fine. Other than that, for your partnership, as I said, for communication with partners, it can be a little bit too emotional, so be intuitive, be diplomatic and loving also with your partner. And now we're looking at Leo, Sidereal Ascendant or Moon sign, or if you're following the tropical zodiac, we're looking at Virgo, tropical ascendant. For you, your ascendant ruler, the sun, is together with Mercury on your 6th house. With this, the work, the working process, the routine are very important. This can give good energies for you to arrange or rearrange your routine environment. In relationship with subordinates, can give good energies for healing, for your health. Saturn and Pluto are on your 5th house, already leaving, so be a little bit cautious and attentive with children. Jupiter is becoming on your 5th house, and this can create opportunities for finances, for gains. So this is a very good placement for new studies, especially when he becomes visible. Now be a little bit cautious at work, also at home. Be patient and loving. Be cautious with superiors. Be patient with your partner at home because of the square which Venus, which is otherwise on your descendant, is creating with Mars. So be loving, be cautious. The week is fine financially, and I see the week actually as quite fine, except for the fact that you might need to be a little bit cautious, patient and loving at home, and cautious, intuitive, diplomatic at work. And now let's look at ascendant or moon sign, sidereal Virgo, or if you're following the tropical zodiac, tropical Libra. Now for you, your ascendant ruler with the sun in your 5th house is a very good placement, auspicious for communication with children, for creative studies, creative deeds, creative work, work of pleasure, artistic work. Yes, it could be quite good. Also, because this is the sign of Capricorn, where your ascendant ruler is, it could be good for finalizing, arranging your studies. Now, Venus on your 6th house is very auspicious for your health, for fixing relationship with subordinates, for having good, friendly work environment. However, it may go a little bit too emotional because of the square which is taking place this week between Mars and Venus. But in any case, this can influence for good your spiritual studies, for example. Interest and desires to go deeper into the occult, esoteric, depth of psychological, philosophical studies. Now, Jupiter is rising, most probably because it's a bit different for the different geographical longitudes, but Jupiter is becoming visible in your 4th house, blessing for the home, blessing for the children, and also very helpful for your work environment. So the week will be good, but mainly for finalizing important deeds, important plans, for fixing communication, relationship with subordinates, and could be also blessing for your health. Okay, and now we will be looking at ascendant Libra, sidereal or moon sign Libra, or if you're following the tropical zodiac, this will be Scorpio. Now, ascendant Libra or moon sign Libra. Your ascendant ruler on the 5th house is very fine placement, as this is own triplicity sign, and this can be very good and a bit too emotional for your love life, romantic life, but can be good for communication with children, can be quite positive for your spiritual studies, esoteric studies, for studies in general, studies which desire creativity, for design and creative work, pleasures. So in this sense, this can be quite fine. The placement of the Sun and Mercury on your 4th house is showing also some emphasis on this placement, like finalizing things at home, communication with parents can influence your work environment. Therefore, there you might need to be a bit diplomatic. Certainly what is required is diplomacy. Jupiter will become visible on your 3rd house. He will be aspecting very harmoniously Venus. This is quite good for spiritual studies, travels, communication with people abroad. The week is fine also for your finances. Yes, also the attention goes because of the Mars who is expressing our desires in the 2nd house, shows some ambition, desires in relation to making money. This is fine, just remain diplomatic and very intuitive. And the week is more appropriate for finalizing things than for new beginnings. And now we're looking at a sidereal ascendant Scorpio or if you're following the tropical zodiac, this will be tropical Sagittarius. We're looking at moon sign or ascendant. So we're looking at Scorpio, ascendant or moon sign, and Mars, as your ascendant ruler, is on the ascendant, passing through powerful degrees of leadership, of the army leader, of the warrior, quite powerful degrees, which are showing desires, ambition, and which are creating aspects with Venus, which is on your 4th house. So this way, both your personal achievements, developments, plans, desires are affected, together with your home, your love life. Both are affected, and there you might go too deep, too emotional. Therefore, you might need to remain a bit diplomatic and use your intuition. And keep in mind that this week indeed can be a bit too emotional, can give depth of the feelings and of the emotions. Jupiter will become visible on your 2nd house, and with this, he can be helpful very much for your finances, for achievements related to your own skills and to your own speech, for example. This is also due to the specific placement of Mercury and the Sun. So the week is fine for negotiations, for completing projects, not for beginning. Now, Saturn and Pluto are, of course, still conjoined on your 2nd house. So this can create some hidden traps, if you want, in relation to the way you'll be making money. Therefore, use your powerful intuition, because your intuition is powerful anyway. So use your intuition, diplomatic skills, and the week is good for your finances, for your work. Just remember that the placement of Saturn and Pluto is still fact, and it's happening on your house of money. So indeed, intuition, diplomacy, and patience are very important. Okay, and this week can be very auspicious for fixing relationship with siblings, giving attention to your home, to your parents. Okay, now we're looking at ascendant or moon sign Sidereal, Sagittarius, or this will be, if you follow in the tropical zodiac, tropical Capricorn. So for Sidereal, Sagittarius or moon sign Sagittarius, Jupiter is on your ascendant and beautifully will become, most probably for your longitude, this or next week, visible. And this is the blessing of Jupiter, to become visible on your ascendant. His energies you will feel immediately for good. Now, of course, we know Saturn and Pluto are also on your ascendant, but Saturn is about to leave, which is a relief, and Jupiter is really helping. Now, I said already in the introduction that this Saturn-Pluto conjunction is already fact for quite some time, and you don't have any reasons to be afraid of it. Now, also because Venus is creating harmonious aspect from your 3rd house, which can create opportunities for travel, a good relationship with siblings, fixing issues with siblings if needed. The Sun and Mercury are on your 2nd house, creating good energies and opportunities for your finances. Be a little bit cautious for your health, and be patient and loving with partners, and in general with people that you have partnerships or agreements with. Yes, financially the week is good, especially if for your area Jupiter will become visible on your ascendant. Otherwise, he will become visible soon anyway. So indeed, this is relief after all these months, years that you've been waiting for Saturn to move away. He will move away on 31st of January from your ascendant, but still already Jupiter is great help for you. Yes, just be a bit cautious for your health and patient with your partners. Okay, and now we're looking at Capricorn, moon sign or ascendant sidereal coordinates, and yes, if you follow in the tropical zodiac, this will be most probably tropical Aquarius. Now for you, the Sun and Mercury are on your ascendant. This is good. This is giving good auspicious energies, good for your health. good for giving energies for you to complete tasks, to work, to have this healthy drive to accomplish your plans, for example. Financially, the week looks fine for me. Just be a bit cautious and attentive towards with children. Health-wise, the week also looks better to me, quite fine, especially if Jupiter will become visible for you on your 12th house. This week can be opportunity for like to win over enemies, for example, or can create opportunities to resolve health issues. This could be a very good timing for you. So Saturn and Pluto, Saturn is your ascendant ruler and Pluto are still on your 12th house, and with this indeed you may have some issues like melancholy, some health issues, but with the appearance of Jupiter you will be able to solve them, I believe. Yes, so this is about this week and the week that looks good financially to me. And now we will be looking at sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or this will be tropical Pisces. Now for you, Venus is on your ascendant. This is blessing. You're probably feeling this unexplained joy, for example, which Venus on the ascendant can give you in the blessing of Venus. And Jupiter is creating harmonious sextile with Venus from your 11th house. This is quite fine. Especially fine will be when he becomes visible very soon this week, most probably for you, or if not, it will be next week. Mars, powerful on your 10th house, will be showing your desires and ambition that you might have, which might be pointing towards your work and career. This week is more appropriate to complete important tasks. Be a bit cautious, because this Mars-Venus square can make you a little bit too emotional or too deeply to concentrate into tasks and emotions, to give a little bit too much attention, more than needed, for example. The week looks good in terms of health. Be a little bit diplomatic also, and loving related to your love life and home also, and still attentive towards children. Financially and health-wise, the week will be good for you. And now we're looking at ascendant Pisces or moons in Pisces, tropical, or this will be sidereal, or this will be tropical Aries. So moon or ascendant Pisces, sidereal coordinates. Now your ascendant ruler most probably this week will become visible for you on your 10th house. This is blessing, and this will be helping towards the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, which is also taking place on your 10th house. So Jupiter is fast coming to bring help and to denote blessing and solve issues which were unsolved for you related to career, for example, or your plans. Mars is in his own placement in your 9th house, and this is very fine can give these desires to travel, to have opportunities for communication with people abroad, studies. Oh, this is very nice. Still, Saturn and Pluto are taking place conjoined on your 10th house, but Jupiter is coming to help unresolved issues that you might have had. Saturn and Mercury in your 11th house are brilliant for matters and plans that you wanted to achieve. They can be helpful also for your finances. The week is good for your health, can create opportunities for solving health issues, can create opportunities for winning over enemies. The week is fine for completing important matters and issues. So this was my week for the 12 ascendants. Have a very good week, and see you next week, and also with my everyday brief prognosis of the day.